What's up guys, Rob from All Out Performance UK, coming at you with my next episode in my train series, Road to 200 kilo back squat. Right guys, so for the first bit of my squat day or max effort lower day, I decided to do front squat. Doing front squat just to put a little bit more emphasis on the quads and a little bit more emphasis on upper back strength and supporting that front rack position. What I did is I started warming up without the bar, and then I decided to add green bands either side. So I used 2 dumbbells either side, looped the green bands underneath the actual head of the dumbbell rather than through the bands because I wanted a little bit more tension. Next time, what I'm probably going to do is actually separate the dumbbells more to create more tension, as there's a little bit of slack at the bottom which I don't want. And I want a little bit more tension at the top as well. Today I was just warming up, working up as I normally do, sort of 40, 60, 80, 100. Once I got to 100, I started jumping up in 10s. I actually finished off with my top end at 130 kilos. The green bands were 25 kgs worth of tension at the top and about nothing at the bottom. At the bottom of the squat you can see where the bands slack a little bit, so they almost switch off and then switch back on again as soon as I start my concentric phase of my squat. Didn't really throw me off. Normally you have the band under full tension the whole range, as in when you get to the bottom, if the bands stop working and then rework again, it can kind of throw you offline, but I decided to take that as a little bit of a challenge. I'm very strong out of the whole of a squat, whether I'm doing front squat or back squat, but obviously my sticking point, as you can see, is just about past parallel, near lockout, so I'm going to spend my Thursday sessions doing accessories for that issue anyway. Right, so after that I moved on to my hypertrophy phase for my legs. So what I decided to do is my increase from last week is I'm going to do my Bulgarian split squats, but this time I'm going to do it with a 10 kilo dumbbell rather than a 5, and supersetting that with wide stance RDLs or stiff-legged deadlifts, technically. I used 10 kilo dumbbell for the split squats, and I used a 50 kilo dumbbell for my stiff-legged deadlifts. The reason I did is as an increase, but also like the lower weights are starting to really not feel like they're doing much. So after 50 kilos, I'm probably gonna have to either reduce rest or increase reps or sets, as I can't really go up in weight unless I use a different bit of equipment. But at the moment, I'm really feeling it using the dumbbells at the moment. So I'm probably going to stick it out one more week with the 50s, increase the sets, and then I'm probably going to move on to a barbell or something like that instead as my next jump. So in terms of sets and reps, I did 3 sets. I did 10 on each leg for the split squats, and then I did 10 of the stiff-legged deadlifts. I rested 2 minutes between sets, and that was just about enough recovery, as I was really feeling it, especially my hamstrings after the stiff-legged deadlifts. So great session on that overall. Last bit I finished with hack squats. Now, I really like the hack squat machine, but what I really want to do is use that as a tool to really help with my sticking point. With the hack squat machine, with the bands I used on it, I've made sure that it was taut at the bottom and really taut at the top. I want to use that accommodating resistance on that machine, because that's the part I really struggle with, is actually just pushing through that last bit. So I didn't put that much weight on the hack squat, I don't think. What did I put on there? I didn't put that much weight on the hack squat. I think I only put a pair of 15s on, but the green bands were a ton of resistance, and I wanted to use it as fairly high reps anyway. So I did 4 sets of 15 reps with only 1 to 1.5 minutes rest. So I didn't have the rest exactly. I just kind of had my phone running, my stopwatch running, and I kind of wanted to rest as little as possible. So I think I started with a minute, and then towards my last sets I ended up resting 1:30, just because the quad pump was unbelievable. So that was it, basically. That was my whole session. I only did technically 3 different things, but obviously the middle part is I did a superset. That max effort front squat really wiped me out, so that's the reason I didn't do that much after. I made up for it later in the week, which I'm kind of filming ahead at the moment, so you'll see that in another video. But basically I'm attacking my weaknesses, basically anterior chain, posterior chain, in different days of the week. So anterior chain quite heavily today, and then I'm going to do more posterior chain work specifically Thursday. That's it guys, those 3 things. Hope you enjoyed the content, and see you in the next video. Peace out.